So the got it that goes with this is very important as well. We need to set it equal to 0, just like our steps. We need to step 1, we got to distribute and set equal to 0. X to the third plus 8x equals 8x plus 8. So distribute. Now to set it equal to 0, I'm going to take things to the left so that I keep my x cubed positive. So minus 8x minus 8. So setting it equal to 0, I get x cubed. Oh, look at that. The 8x's cancel. Minus 8 equals 0. So what we're going to try to do now, if you like following steps, I just did step 1, set it equal to 0. Now step 2, how many solutions should it have, and put it into my calculator. All right, so how many solutions should it have? Well, it's a cubic, right? So it should have 3 solutions. I'm going to put it into my calculator. X to the third minus 8. Hit the graph button. Notice it only crosses the x-axis once, so that's one real solution, and the other 2 must be imaginary. So then I need to kind of examine this and see if it can factor at all. Well, this is what we call the difference of perfect cubes. And we can factor this, and here's how. So to factor it, I do a small parenthesis and a big parenthesis. And this is only for perfect cubes. I then, let me change the color a little more drastically. I take the square cube root of each of those items. So the cube root of this is x, and the cube root of this is a 2. To go to the second parenthesis, I square the x, and I square the 2. To get the middle item, I put these 2 items together. So 2 times x is 2x. The signs are as follows. It always goes same, different, plus. So when I say same, I mean same as this thing I'm pointing at. So same, different, plus. And now that I have, again, if you guys like following steps, let's see where I am. Take a GCF out, I couldn't. Decide if I could factor, and now I'm going to solve. I factored it, now it's time to solve it. So let's look at both of these parentheses. This one is going to be way easier than this one. Let's go through with it. So this is going to be x minus 2 equals 0. Add 2, x equals 2. And sure enough, if you look at the calculator, it does cross at positive 2. That is your real solution. X is positive 2. Now we need to do, you can sit here all day and try to factor this. I promise you it won't factor. So opposite b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Oops, we know a. So that's negative 2 plus or minus square root of 4 minus 16, negative 12 all over 2. That's negative 2 plus or minus something over 2. 12 is made up of a perfect square, 4 times 3. P.S. If you're struggling with this 4 for perfect cubes, it's always this. 2 squared is 4. It's kind of nice. It's a nice little trick. So the square root of 4 is 2. My daughter's singing. I apologize. Because this is negative, I pick out an I for imaginary, and the 3 is left inside. Final step, these all divide by 2. This is just like we did in chapter 4. Negative 1 plus or minus 1i square root of 3 all over 1. And maybe it would be better written, right? We don't like all those ones, as just negative 1 plus or minus I square root of 3. It's the same answer, it's just a little bit cleaner. And just like we said up above, it should have 2 real and 2 imaginary. And sure enough, there are your 2 imaginary. You can write them separately or as one. It's negative 1 plus I square root of 3 and negative 1 minus I square root of 3. You can write it as like negative 1 plus and minus I square root of 3 if you want. And that is how you do perfect cubes.